Respect. What's wrong with people? No, for real. What's wrong with people? It's the thought process of me. You ever been minding your business with the minding your business? When you live in a private establishment and you live amongst other people and you just trying to mind your business and go to sleep at a decent hour of the night. You know, when you know you live in a temporary situation, you understand the assignment. But there's just certain stuff you just can't get jiggy with. Because when you know, you know. It's the thought process for me. Listen, ma'am, sir, it should be no reason why I hear you within hearing you of your thought process as you screaming from the top of your lungs and nobody's even hurting you, let alone putting hands on you, feet on you, or nothing. What's wrong with you, fool? I never saw so much people so concerned about one person at one time. You know, it just goes to show you at the end of the day how humanity is really changing slowly. It's the thought process for me. Because you would have thought somebody was really hurting homegirl. No, for real. You really would have thought somebody was hurting that person. Like, I would have felt bad if something would have really happened and I heard it within hearing it. You know when you one of those type of people like, listen, I got a conscience too. Like, what the fuck? Come on. Why did I have to hear this? Why me? It's the thought process for me. And you reevaluate your whole life, right? To go be nosy. To see what's going on, what the being going on. Because you a good citizen, right? You doing the right thing. Being nosy. Because that's when you know, you know. But you just checking on your neighbor. Like you supposed to. Like, I thought that was the norm. Neighbor, you okay? Do you need help, neighbor? You know, I call 911 from a distance. You know, I ain't coming over there. But I call him. Yeah. All right. Just to reevaluate your life. You know, I realized with life, you know, certain people weren't given certain handbooks. They overlooked themselves. So because they overlooked themselves, they wouldn't know how to cope when it comes to self-awareness, you know, when it comes to rain and the sun and, you know, the stars and the moon and thundering outside. Mother Nature, hello, what's wrong with you, fool? You mean to tell me you put on a whole show for a good 35, 45 minutes. Literally. Because it's thundering outside. Not only is it thundering outside, but it's lightning too. You know, that's fair. I give you that. It's fair. Man down! Man down! Really? Yo, you could have said, listen, I'm sorry, false alarm. It's just the lightning and the rain. We would have understood to mind our business. We wouldn't have called 911 on your ass. Because it sounded like someone was hurting you the way you was going. Why? You making so much goddamn noise over lightning and rain. Ma'am, sir, it sounded like it was a whole bunch of people in there hurting you. What's wrong with people? Yo! Talk about trying to find myself. Oh, yeah? Oh. Okay. It's the thought process of me. I never saw so many people so concerned in my life. Just to reevaluate their whole entire life and say, you know what? We gotta start taking accountability for our actions and stop ignoring people. Have respect for our neighbor. Stop overlooking our neighbor. Stop having malicious intentions towards our neighbor. You know, God did not create us to go against our neighbor. And sometimes we become our own worst enemy because the enemy already stepped in and allowed us to believe to go against our neighbor. When our neighbor is in time of need. When our neighbor needs someone to say, hey, I'm okay, but just thanks for checking on me. In a healthy, not the toxic way. You hear something, you don't overlook it. Someone can be in harm's way, and you're just going on with your day-to-day life. And that can be saving your life. And I say that respectfully. Not go walk to it. But at the same time, too, use the intuition that you want someone to use on you. Common sense, respect. Someone coming to your help, your rescue, when your time of need is. You know, they taking the situation within the situation, not manipulating and disrespecting it. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child, and it also takes a village and a community to be at peace with each other and to have respect for one another. It's sad that the enemy stepped in so long to allow you to believe, to psych your neighbor out their thought process or their freedom or their pockets because they got malicious intentions. It's so sad that we can't even be amongst ourselves because we dealing with our own trauma within, to let alone be around the next person at the end of the day, to respect our neighbor. It makes it so difficult. That shouldn't be so difficult, especially when your neighbor's not against you, especially when your neighbor doesn't have malicious intentions to bring harm towards you. It's a thought process for me. Someone can be getting into altercation. Call 911. Nobody's saying go stop them if you feel like you're in that much danger, but just call 911. Safety first. It's sad that you can't even help an innocent person nowadays because people are psyching people out their thought process, doing scams just to get attention, just to hurt other innocent people. Like, it's the thought process for me. Like, you know, God sees everything that everybody's doing when it comes to that negative behavior, when it comes to that toxic behavior, when it comes to bringing harm towards an innocent person. And I say that respectfully. When an enemy steps in too long, will allow you to believe to go against your neighbor, to allow you to believe that you cannot live in a safe environment. Why? Why? Because the enemy played too long in your life. You allow the enemy to take over your life so you won't show up for yourself, because that's what the enemy wants you to do, not show up for yourself, not be aware of yourself, wants you to give up, live in fear and be discouraged, because God didn't install those tools within you. God installed patience within you. Self-awareness, self-healing, self-respect, self-control, self-discipline, self-care, self-value, self-love, self-worth, healthy boundaries, healthy balance, to understand your awareness within, to understand how to be patient with yourself when it comes to terms and to looking at your reflection of yourself, to becoming your best self vision of yourself, because you matter. You are worthy. And you deserve to be in an environment where you're at peace with yourself and you're at peace within your community, and your neighbor can actually respect you. You ain't gotta sleep with your neighbor. You ain't gotta go home with your neighbor. Not saying that. But respect is a two-way street. And just because you don't understand why someone is elevating, becoming their best self vision of themselves, it's not meant for you to understand. They're in their own lane, elevating, becoming their best self vision of themselves. And they don't have malicious intentions to bring harm towards you or others around you or themselves. It's called respect. And never judge a book by its cover when God is favoring a child of God, or God is showing that child of God to elevate and become their best self vision of themselves. And I say that respectfully. Respect is a two-way street. This ain't got nothing to do about anybody's sexual orientation. This ain't got nothing to do about however you feel negatively about someone that's not even bringing malicious intentions towards you or bringing harm towards you or innocent people, let alone themselves. It's a thought process for me. Stop judging a book by its cover. All because at the end of the day, you're not in tune with yourself. And I say that respectfully. Safety first. And stop the violence. Stop the violence. Stop the discrimination. And I say that respectfully. Going against your neighbor for what? Why? Because the enemy allows you to believe to go against your neighbor? For what? You see your neighbor needs help and you don't feel like it's a threat? Help your neighbor. Why not? And I say that respectfully. It's a cold world we live in. God said do not go against your neighbor, especially when you don't have malicious intentions to bring harm towards you and others around you and themselves. I say that respectfully. Protect your energy, because not everybody's repping your time. I so appreciate your time to the genuine ones only. Have a safe day, have a safe week, have a safe remaining weekend. Love yourself, with God's protection every direction. Now you genuine love, respect. It's the thought process for me. Yeah.